Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. My guests today are a man who started his own business in hair replacement in Birmingham and has seen his company grow from strength to strength. Pete Murtha from Optima Hair Specialist joins us today. Also joining me is a man that has just a little bit of an obsession with the iconic Only Fools and Horses television programme, complete with a room in his home that looks exactly like the set, and the Reliant Regal Supervan 3 and Ford Capri to go with it. We'll all go off to Trotter Heaven and welcome John Jones. My first guest is a man who, from personal experience, decided to start his own hair replacement company here in the West Midlands. And he's joined us today to share his story. Let's welcome Pete Murtha. Pete, thank you so much for coming on Cuppa TV.
Pleasure.
You've been with us before and it's wonderful to see you again.
Yeah, my pleasure, any time.
Pete, tell us about this Optima Hair Specialist company that you started.
God, where do you start? I lost my hair when I was 25. Normal male pattern baldness, you know, everyone in my family's got a full head of hair, but my granddad passed it down, so I was one of the unlucky ones. And it affected my confidence so much that I tried to commit suicide. So I was in a bad place, and I managed to get something done that sort of helped me. And really, from my experience from that, I thought, well, you know, I might as well just play on my experience, and that's what I've done by bringing Optima to the marketplace. And
you were 25 when you tried to commit suicide because of your hair loss?
Because of my hair. I was like, you know, at school, I was like the most popular kid in school. So suddenly, everyone where they looked up to you was suddenly then take the mickey out of you for losing your hair. So I couldn't handle it. And my depression just went bump, and that was it. And I went down. And I spent £18,000 in 3 years trying to rectify it, but nothing worked.
And what did you have done? What sort of...
I went to a big multinational company. I got something done that was sort of like filled the gaps, and no one knew that I'd actually like sort of lost my hair. So I went down that route, and eventually they offered me a job because of my experience. So I got involved in it that way.
Really? So you found that having the personal experience yourself obviously made you well, you had empathy as well as sympathy.
Yeah, massive.
Presumably,
Yeah, hugely.
With the people that were coming to you.
And
how did it affect you at 25 to go through all that?
25, it's just the worst thing on. It's hard. I mean, I used to pray that you know, if I had cancer, I would have an excuse as to why I was losing my hair. So I was absolutely mortified, like everyone is when they come into my place and see me.
I was thinking, do you think people underestimate hair loss? Because, you know, when you have cancer, you go through the treatment, you can often lose your hair. And do you think people do underestimate the impact it can have on men and women with losing your hair?
Hugely. I would say the people that we see, I would say that probably 50% have contemplated suicide at one point through losing their hair.
I mean, that's a staggering statistic, isn't it?
Huge, massive.
And is that men and women?
Mate, I mean, nowadays, I'd say our turnaround now is about 60% women. Because women seem to be losing their hair a hell of a lot now. It's probably the stress that men put them through.
I'm not going to comment on that.
No, of course you would.
But I mean, when you start, so you had this personal experience yourself,
yeah,
and you went through a very bad time with it.
Yeah,
and you know, and you moved up from Essex and came here to the West Midlands.
Yeah,
and then you had some trouble here. When
I started. I worked for a big for a big company, and we sort of fell out over a little kid had come in and sort of like his dad had spilt a kettle on his head when he was about 3, so he had a big bit of scar tissue. And I thought there'd be an amazing opportunity here to do it for free. But the bosses above me just said, well, no, you know, if he wants it, he'll pay the money, sort of thing. So we fell out. We didn't have the same sort of values. So someone said to me, why don't you start up on your own? I'd never considered it before. And then when I did, the people I used to work for wasn't very happy. So there was a few knocks at my door. There was a few big people, a few swords, a few nasty things sort of like were happening. The house was smashed up. The car was smashed up. I had police protection for 2 years. So they were doing everything they could to try and get me out of the way because they knew I was very good at my job. But weeks before that, I'd actually made a promise to the Birmingham Children's Hospital that I would supply 50 kids a year free of charge. And if they go through cancer, then I'll give them the hair back free of charge. And once I make a promise, I don't break it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so that really then, that drove you even harder, would you say? That made you even more determined to do what you wanted to do.
I had to move house a couple of times. You know, constantly looking over your shoulder, you have to do that. But my passion is helping people who are in the same position as me. or even the little kids that are going through cancer treatment. We can change their lives, and that's what we do very well.
And so tell us about the procedure, because I have to say, your own hair. Are you going to tell us?
My own hair's not real.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, that's
exactly.
just, I mean, it's incredible. It looks absolutely real.
Everyone argues with me and stuff like that, but I've got the photo I show people, obviously, before.
And we've got the photos to show our viewers as well, the before and after.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible thing. So how does it work? Do you implant it? Tell us how it works.
No, I mean, there's no surgery. I mean, basically, in America, it's massive. I mean, half of Hollywood have got this done, and I know that through people I know in the industry and stuff like that. It's basically, we take a mould of someone's head, we then take a sample of hair, send it off to America, and what they do is, it's like a silicone skin. So it's like a cigarette paper, and they make it to the same shape as the balding area. They inject loads of hair into it. It takes about 2 or 3 months, handmade these are in the States. And when they send it back to us, we then put it in amongst people's hair, and it gets glued to the scalp. So from here upwards, I'm bald, and I have been for years. And
does that just stay permanently on your head?
Yeah, I go, I go swimming, everything. I go on holiday, I dive into the pool, pull it, tug it, style it, change your style every day. Don't make a difference. To me, it's my hair. That's it.
That's incredible.
It's a party starter, that's for sure.
And is it human hair?
It's human hair, yeah. It depends on sort of what religion people are and stuff like. They can have human hair, they can have fibre hair. But mostly, I'd say 99% of the time, we use human hair.
Is that because, why is that? Is that because it's just easy to handle, or why is that?
Human hair reacts, so if you've got a join where people's hair actually then blends into, it needs to be the same. So once we take a sample, they can match the texture and density of it and everything like that. So it's sort of very easy to then just treat it like your own hair.
So when people come to you, what do you do? Tell us about the services you offer.
Well, basically, I mean, we've got like 25 staff here in Birmingham. We're sort of we're growing and growing and growing. We're one of the biggest single studios, like I'll say in Europe. And it's good because the main thing we concentrate on is making sure that everyone gets a good experience as they come through. And it's not stuffy, and it's not posh, and it's not white coats and ticking boxes. It's like, look, I've been through this. I know how you feel. And if you can get that empathy with someone, then they'll trust you, like they should trust us, and then we can give them back what they need.
That's incredible. And how long does that take? So from start?
From someone comes in, I would say from day one when they come in, you're looking at about 10 weeks, and in 10 weeks' time, 3 hours, done. And
it's done in the same way you've just described? With
exactly the same way, yeah.
And when you're going through the process, I should imagine you become quite, you have sympathy and empathy with your clients, but do you get to know their stories? Do they share
massively,
their stories?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because my job, you're like a counsellor as well. So you sit there and you listen to them, and when someone talks to you, they're like, oh, do you walk down the road and stare at everyone's hair? Oh, I do that. And then when it rains, you sort of like panic and think, oh my God, I do that. It's stuff that you would never explain with someone else until someone else has actually been through it.
And when people leave you, I mean...
I mean, we've got my office is covered in thank you cards, and it's just, and you get tears, and it is the most fulfilling job ever. I mean, I say to my staff all the time, where else can you get a job where you can actually change someone's life for the better? I've had guys come up to me and give me bottles of champagne and thank yous, that when they got their hair done, they went out that night and met their future wife, and now they're having a baby, and they actually come to me and say, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have any of this. So that makes you feel amazing. I
was going to say, how wonderful is that?
I know.
And will you always stay in the West Midlands?
Yeah, I will personally, yeah. I'm not interested in growing the business in terms of the UK. We've got a few things going on where worldwide we're sort of looking at things, but mainly in the UK, we concentrate in Birmingham. I work closely with a children's hospital, so I want to be close to that so I can help them whenever I can.
And what do you do with the Children's Hospital? Tell us what you do.
Well, the Children's Hospital send us kids that are really... See, it's weird. When a child suffers with cancer, whether they're 6 years old, 4 years old, our youngest is 2, our oldest is 88, but when they suffer with cancer, it's not the cancer that bothers them. It's losing their hair that bothers them. So when they come and see me and I say, well, look, you can have this done and I'll give it to you for free, and then suddenly you turn them around where you've suddenly given back these princess locks and they can look like something out of Frozen or anything like that. It just gives them a look that's, well, it gives them a bit of normality so people are not staring at them all the time.
Giving them hope,
yes,
really.
Massively.
Giving them hope. And again, you must have loads of pictures from...
We've got loads of pictures. I mean, I'm covered in tattoos. I've got little kids.
Tell me about those tattoos.
Well, basically, the main reason I put love and faith on my hands is because with the kids that I deal with, there's all about love. Life's all about love, and life's all about faith. So have faith in the treatment that you're receiving from the Children's Hospital. And really, with the little kids' names I've got dotted all the way up, I probably go to around about 6 or 7 children's funerals every year. And I have to give speeches at the funerals because of the difference that I made in their lives and stuff like that. And that's very hard, so you have to be quite strong. But then you can see the difference that you made to them before they died. So that, to me, is what my life's purpose is about.
That's incredible.
And they're all in memory all the way up my arms and stuff like that. So
that's just great. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show again, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Pleasure.
We're going to take a quick break now, so come back and see us again in just a minute. John, thank you so much and welcome to Cuppa TV.
Nice to meet you.
John, this is just fantastic. How on earth did you manage to get this beautiful vehicle? And tell us about it.
I've just been a passionate Only Fools fan since the age I can remember, really. And then I've got all the props and stuff like that from the programme, all the DVDs, and I thought, why not try and get hold of a van and recreate it? So
absolutely, and I mean, is it an absolute replica of the van?
Yeah, it's pretty much identical.
That's fantastic.
I get asked all the time if it is the original.
And you've used it just recently, of course, with the famous Foxy and Giuliano, who were on my show just a while ago, and they reenacted the scene, didn't they?
Yeah, the scene where Del and Rodney were going to a fancy dress publican's ball, and they broke down on the way, and they had to get out the car dressed as the famous superheroes. That's
right. Superheroes, Batman and Robin, and then of course then Spider-Man joined them as well in that particular act, didn't it? But John, how did you? And I know you've got a passion for it, but now you've got this van and in fact another vehicle as well. How do you feel about it? Is it something that you don't consider work at all because you've got such a passion for it?
I just love doing it. I do charity stuff and I do stuff where people hire me, but I just love the effect it has on people. People just love the programme. People then that are not expecting it for a party, you turn up in it and just the look on the face, it's priceless. I just love doing it.
And you've got all the props as well, haven't you, that go with it, and all the noises.
Yeah, it backfires, it
smokes, it
plays the music, plays the sound quotes.
So in other words, you've got the whole package.
Yeah, it's had some work done on it.
And tell us about your home, because I understand your home as well is almost like a shrine to Only Fools and Horses.
I sort of like done my front bedroom. She wouldn't let me do the living room, but I've done the front bedroom. I've got the cocktail bar, I've got the bamboo wallpaper, the leopard skin flooring. I've got the biscuit jar where he kept his cigars. I've got the bar pull from the Nag's Head. I've got lots and lots of stuff.
And did they have a famous pineapple? Wasn't there a famous pineapple
that's on the bar,
ice bucket, wasn't it?
And I've just bought the vintage candlestick holder that they, candlestick phone that they had.
Yeah,
so I've got that as well.
How does your wife put up with that?
She puts up with it.
So you've got lots of events you're doing. So what events are coming up for you?
Weddings, proms, birthday surprises, more charity stuff, and I want to start going to some of the actual filming locations in Bristol because I've got friends now that live in the tower block used for the riot scene. So I want to take the cars up there and do like a bit of a visit. A visit and see what you can do. And is it always going to be a passion for you, John? Yeah, it's literally in the blood. Yeah. I've got it tattooed on my leg.
Have you really got it tattooed on your leg? I think we need to take a look at that. If you're willing to show us. Look at this. So just describe. Oh my goodness me. You really have got it tattooed to your leg. So are these all the characters in the show?
It's a lot of them. It's like some of my the most favourite moments of Only Fools. And
oh yes. Oh, look at that. Actually, it's very good. The tattoo's very
Yeah,
good. It's very lifelike. It really is a passion, John.
Yeah.
I can see that. And what about your when you go out and do your ordinary job, should we say? Is this something you'd like to do full time if you could?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I really would.
And this is a passion, of course.
It's a passion, yeah.
Well, let's move out now because you've also bought the other one. So first of all, before we move away, tell us exactly what this car's called. It's a Reliant...
Reliant Regal Supervan 3.
Excellent. Okay, so that's what it is. And now also you've bought in the Ford Capri.
Yeah.
So let's go and have a look at the Ford Capri, shall we?
Right. This one was bought in when Del and Raquel was brought into the programme. She was heavily pregnant with Damien, and there was muggings going on the estate, so Del wanted her to be able to drive and be safe, so he bought this off Boise, who at the time was going to scrap it, but Del found up and says, what have you got for 400 quid? Yeah. So he ended up with a Lime Beast that Rodney called the Pratmobile.
And it was this lime colour, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was this lime colour. And again, this is a Ford Capri.
Ford Capri.
So how old is this car?
1981, so 32, 33 years old.
And it's got the leopard-skinned, fur-lined seats.
That one's got the tiger print.
Oh, it's tiger print,
Yeah.
I apologise, yes. And again, was that in the car?
Yeah,
Is that
it was in the
authentic?
car, yeah.
And again, what do people do? Do they hire this out from you, John?
Yeah.
And
So,
for what sort of functions?
proms, birthdays, corporate events, anything really.
Charity events?
Yeah, charity. I
Yeah.
do a lot of charity stuff with it because it just pulls in crowds of people for a good cause, really. Me and my mate volunteer, and then I dress as Rodney. We've got the masks. He's short and stout, so he's got the sheepskin, the aluminium case, the phone, which I've got over there.
Oh, yes.
And then we charge a small fee, which all goes to charity. So you've got 2 cars, 2 lookalikes, and it all goes into a charity box.
And what's your favourite event that you've been to so far?
Favourite probably be.
You had one that you really, really enjoyed doing, perhaps a wedding or a charity function?
It would be a prom where we turned up and there were like the 18 van there, Lamborghinis, limousines, stuff like that. And then we turned up and then I was in this car with
van.
the smoke, dressed like I am now, but with the mask on, headlights on, smoke, backfiring. My mate was behind me dressed as Del Boy, sheepskin coat, mask on, everything, air horns blasting and the fog lamps on. So you got the smoke and the beams of the fog lamps and everything. We just got a massive round of applause and we just basically stole the show. It was brilliant, everyone loved it.
That is a way to make an entrance.
It was an entrance, all right.
And have you ever taken a bride and a groom or a bride to a church in one of these? One of your cars?
It's not really for the bride. The bride always books this as a surprise for the groom because the bride always gets the fancy rolls, the old vintage classics, whereas sometimes the groom gets his mate to drop him off. There's no big entrance for the groom, so now there is.
This is a great
and that's how it works.
And you work all over the West Midlands?
All over the country.
All over the country?
That's what I've started doing now.
Fantastic. Where's the farthest you've been so far?
Winchester for an Armed Forces 80s theme night.
And why do you think it is, John? Because people just love Only Fools and Horses. I think everybody knows it. It's an iconic show. Why do you think that is?
It's because it's a British iconic classic programme. There's never going to be anything like it again. The creators died. It's on gold 4 or 5 times a week. It's almost 35 years old, and you go to the conventions and there's kids dressed in sheepskin coats, and they can recite some of the episodes, and it's just brilliant. It's like their dads talking to them like when I was little, you've been brought into it by your parents, and it's just great. It'll live on. And
do you think, I was going to say, just back to ask you that question, do you think that next generation, that the younger generation, do you think they'll still appreciate Only Fools and Horses?
Yeah, I really do. Like I say, it's 35 years old coming up to, and it's still on a few 4 or 5 times a week, so I really do.
So what's the future for your company, John? How do you see it? What would you like to do?
Just do this for a living. just do this.
Carry on doing it. And the lookalikes, do you have to employ quite a few lookalikes? Or is it always just...
I've got like just cardboard masks, because we're not trying to be Del Boy, Rodney and the characters. The cars are the stars. We're just dressing character just to be part of it. But I've got the Marlene, Denzel, Uncle Albert, Boise mask, Trigger. I've got the Broom. I've got his high-vis jacket, so you can all like get around the vehicles, and it makes a nice photograph.
Oh, so what do people do? Just put up the masks, or put on the mask? Are they masks that you put on?
Yeah, just cardboard masks, and it just looks really good.
That's great. So what's your next event? Have you got a big event coming up?
I've got a wedding with the UK's #1 Del Boy impersonator, who's going to do all the speeches. I think he does the disco. He's been on telly loads of times, but he's doing the wedding, and I'm turning up with both cars, and we're going to do like a bit of a drive-by past the hotel with everyone filming it. So I think that'll be quite a good.
That'd be great. So both cars are being used for that. Yeah. That's going to be great. And is he going to be driving in this one, presumably?
He's
or will he be in that one?
He's going to be...
Such a choice.
Yeah, I know.
Which one shall I choose?
He's more than likely going to be that one, because Rodney never really drove this. He called it the Pratmobile that Del drove. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, John, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much
for having me.
For bringing in the cars, and I wish you every success with the company. I'm sure that after people watch it today on Cuppa TV, they're going to be wanting to get in contact with you. So it's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on Cuppa TV. I'd like to thank all my guests today that have joined me, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.